Welcome to Thrive by the Rise Muse. I'm Vida,
I'm Natty,
and we are here to thrive.
Well, what if the strongest people you know are the most tired? That sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
What if the ones who hold everyone else together are one long exhale away from collapse?
Mm-hmm. What if faith doesn't prevent burnout?
Hmm.
What if it sometimes has burnout?
Hmm. Today, we are on our part two, and we are talking about something rarely named in spiritual spaces: exhaustion, emotional depletion, the crash after the calling.
Mm-hmm. And we're starting with a prophet who called down fire from heaven. Called down fire from heaven, basically asked God to let him die. Mm. This is part two of our Bible stories in 2026 series.
In part one, we looked at David, Joseph, Hannah, and the woman at the well. Stories of longing, redemption, and resilience.
But today we're shifting because scripture doesn't only record victory, it records breakdown.
Whew, and breakdown is where many people are living in 2026.
Mhm. Today we will start with Elijah. Elijah was a prophet during a time when Israel had turned away from God. The leadership was corrupt, idolatry was widespread. He confronts hundreds of false prophets in a public showdown.
I cannot relate to any of that. That is not happening in 2026. Why are we talking
No,
about this?
no, I have no idea. He prays, fire falls from heaven.
Now that we need a
Mhm,
visual fire from heaven.
mhm. It's dramatic, it's national, and it's unforgettable.
I repeat myself, we need that.
Yeah, we do.
Visually, fire from heaven.
Yeah, we do.
And then, almost immediately, Jezebel
Mhm.
threatens to kill him. Same man who stood before hundreds now was running alone into the wilderness.
Isn't that terrible?
Huh. He sits under a tree and he says, I have had enough. God, just take my life.
Yeah, take it.
Whew, that sentence deserves its own space. I have had enough. How many times we've been in that place?
Mhm.
Mm, mm,
All right, let's translate this psychologically.
mm.
Elijah had been operating in prolonged stress,
Mm-hmm.
high alert, high visibility, and high confrontation.
See, that activates what is called the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight response. It triggers adrenaline, cortisol, and heightened awareness.
When you sustain that state long enough, your body cannot maintain it.
And let me make clear the fact that all these terms of psychology have been studied and we can name those things doesn't mean that the people way before felt all these things, because this is how we were created and we were all created by the same creator.
Mhm.
It's just that back in the day, they didn't know what it was called and
Right.
what was going on.
After the peak comes the crash.
Hmm. And how does that crash look like? Well, it can look like hopelessness, fatigue, withdrawal, even sometimes unaliving ideation.
Mhm. Elijah isn't faithless, he's depleted.
Hmm. This is very common in leaders, and anybody who's in a leadership position, church, work, whatever, can identify with this. After conferences, after they launch a project, after spiritual highs, there's often a very deep low.
Mhm. Because the nervous system doesn't distinguish between holy stress and dangerous stress. Stress is stress.
So, what does God do and why does it matter? Here's what's profound: God does not rebuke Elijah, He doesn't lecture him. He's not, he doesn't go tell him, "Where is your faith?" which we sometimes do to people.
Mhm. Instead, he lets him sleep. He feeds him and he tells him to rest again.
I go back to the snack and a nap.
Mhm.
And what is the psychological significance of this? So, before addressing theology, God stabilized biology. Before purpose, protein. Before calling, calories. Put some fuel in the tank before you can ride the car.
Because not too many people are going to give you their 100% undivided attention when they are stressed,
Hmm.
tired, overworked, and hungry.
Right, right.
But you meet them where they are
Hmm.
and they will be more receptive.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
This is trauma informed care, thousands of years before the term exists.
Absolutely. So let's bring this into 2026. So you finished a big project,
Mhm.
or you're carrying your family through a crisis. You survive the year and then you fall apart.
Mhm. Doesn't everybody?
I know. I know it happens to me.
And people say, "But you were doing so well."
Yeah, because people think we're going to be in a high the whole time.
Mm.
Exactly. Why would you? I mean, that's the thing. And that's the danger with that is that's why people are always saying that they're fine, because the expectation, not of God, but of society, is if you are okay, you're supposed to be okay all the time. That is not realistic and that is not life.
Mm-mm,
So,
mm-mm.
mm,
We are not the Stephen Wives people. Just
right.
saying.
Uh,
Let's ask something gently. Are you tired in a way that sleep hasn't fixed it?
Lord, yes. Not today, but sometimes, yeah.
Mhm.
You sleep and you're still, and the thing is, if you're stressed out, and we've had this conversation. If you're stressed out, you can sleep 8 hours and just be just as tired because your body was bouncing all over the place, waking up all the time. You didn't have a deep REM sleep that could regenerate you and recharge you
Mhm.
the way it's supposed to.
Mhm.
So, sometimes, and I do this every morning. I have a Fitbit and I looked at it every morning to see how my sleep was. Some days it tells me I slept 8 hours. And I go, well, they were not some good hours because I'm tired. But sometimes it tells me I slept six. And I'm like, but there were some good six. I can work today and be fine. So it's not so much about how the time is much about the quality of sleep.
Mhm.
Sleep. So even if you sleep 8, 10 hours, if you are stressed out, that's not gonna, you know, get you back together.
Mhm. Now, you don't want your Fitbit saying you been asleep for 10 hours and you had 7.5 hours of light sleep.
Right. Right.
And you only had an hour and a half of deep sleep,
Right.
you know?
You had 45 minutes of deep sleep?
Yeah. And then you woke up all through the night. So, no,
Yeah.
that's a job.
Right.
That's not sleep. That's
Right.
pulling the shit.
Right.
Hmm. Are you spiritually questioning because you're physically depleted?
That makes sense.
Mhm.
You're so tired that you think your faith is faulting. No, honey, you just need a nap.
Yeah. And a snack.
And see? You're getting it.
Mm.
Sometimes we label burnout as an attack
Mhm.
and lack of prayer. And I'm in the middle of spiritual warfare.
If you were really as spiritual as I thought you were, mm,
Oh, well,
I'm just saying.
yeah.
But sometimes it's uh, adrenal fatigue,
Yeah, your hormones.
okay?
Hmm.
And sometimes it's chronic stress.
Right.
Mhm. Or sometimes it's unprocessed grief.
And lack of margin because sometimes we overbooked ourselves and we're like, why am I so tired? Because you have too much on your plate. I'm doing better. Don't look at me in that tone of voice.
She is doing better. Later, let's talk about Elijah.
Mm-hmm.
Later, Elijah hides in a cave. God asked, "What are you doing here?" Elijah says, he feels alone. He's the only faithful one left
In the whole wide world.
in the whole. Ever felt like that?
And sometimes we also feel that we are the only ones dealing with this problem, that nobody else in the world, which is kind of presumptuous because we have billions of people in the world and you think you're that special, that you're the only one with that problem.
And that's because when you're going through what you're going through, you're not going to say, let me look at the stats and see how many people may be going through this with me. If it's over 50%, I'm going to feel all right. No, no, it does not matter if a gazillion people is dealing with the same problem
Hmm.
I'm dealing with.
Hmm.
It's my problem.
Hello.
And it's right now. That's all I'm concerned with.
Well, that's called cognitive distortion.
Mm,
It's an all or nothing thinking,
mm,
and it's an isolation narrative.
mhm. And God gently corrects Elijah. There are 7,000 others. Mm,
I think that 7,000 is more than one. I'm not good in math.
so few.
It's just a few.
Mhm.
Burnout narrows perception and it convinces you that you're alone, that you're the only one, and that nothing will change.
Mhm.
So if you're listening and you feel exhausted, place your feet on the floor. We're not breathing.
Not if you're driving. Just keep your feet where you are. If you're driving, okay?
You're so funny.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Um, ask yourself, what is my body asking for right now?
Hmm.
This is a Christian channel.
Hey, I was thinking about a nap. Nothing bad.
See, I'm looking at y'all, wasn't even looking at her.
Well,
The guilty will speak.
all I was
Mhm.
thinking was about a nap.
Okay, so what is about my body? What is my body asking for right now? Not my calendar,
Oh, that my calendar now.
not my expectations,
Mm-hmm.
my body.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
See, Elijah teaches us that rest is not weaknesses. It's not weakness. It's repair.
Yes, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is to stop.
Mm-hmm. Elijah collapsed after victory. But what happens when you collapse? Wait a minute. But what happens when you collapse comes after a loss?
Mm.
That has to hurt.
Mhm. In our next segment, we're stepping into Job,
Hmm.
and this is where the conversation deepens. It's a good conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and we're building this correctly, and we're going to build it fully.
Mm-hmm. So, like I said, Elijah collapsed after success, after adrenaline, after spiritual intensity.
Mhm. But what happens when collapse doesn't follow victory? What happens when it follows loss?
And that's the easiest way to collapse.
Deep loss,
Mm-hmm.
irreparable loss.
Mm-hmm. So now we're entering into the story of Job.
Mhm.
And this one is heavy.
Mhm. Job is introduced as a righteous man, a stable man, a blessed man, and he was also a wealthy man.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like my damn man. Mhm.
He had children, he was healthy, had a good reputation,
Mhm.
and in a very short period of time, he lost everything. Everything?
Everett.
Everything. His livestock is destroyed. When I was reading this the other day, and one thing is to get bad news, but he was sitting there, and somebody came and told him the livestock is destroyed. And before that one shut up, the servants are killed. And then
It's like they're in a line waiting. You looking,
and then
I got 4, 5 people waiting.
wanting to talk. And then this one had to shut up and a building collapse and kill all your children.
Yeah.
And it's like, can I process the first news
No.
before you give me the next one?
Because see, we gotta go back.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this happening to Job? Because God and Satan had a talk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
God said, what you doing? He said, I'm going back and forth to see who I can destroy, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then God said, I got somebody. Have you considered my servant Job? Well, no, because you're going to protect him. And no, 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 no. Only thing you cannot do is kill him.
Mm-hmm. Or touch his soul. Mm-hmm.
You cannot touch his soul, but
You can play with him.
you can challenge him. You can challenge.
Woo!
You can challenge him. And then Satan said, well, I'm going to challenge him so much that your righteous man, Job, is going to turn on you.
Mm-hmm.
God said, okay, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when things started happening.
Yeah.
Servant came and said, you lost all your livestock. Now, look, we're not talking about a cow, a pig, and 4 chickens.
No.
Because I did some background studying.
Okay.
And Job had thousands, hundreds, like hundreds of cattle.
Mm-hmm. Ooh,
Uh-huh.
that's a lot of cow.
Yes. Hundreds and thousands of different animals that were making him money,
Right.
feeding his family and everybody else around him. Yeah, he had some good stuff. He had a few little chickens, and if he had chickens, it was going to be hundreds and hundreds of them. So Joe is what we call today a wealthy man.
Mm-hmm. Like a millionaire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It makes me think of these rich people that have all their money put in the stock market, and when the stock market drops, some
They
of them,
jumping out the window and stuff.
yes,
Mm.
because they really lost everything. That's where all their money was.
Mm-hmm.
So this one didn't jump out a window, but I would not blame him. And his servants were killed,
Yes.
and a building collapsed and killed all his kids at once.
So a messenger comes and says,
Mhm.
all of your livestock is dead.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Then all of your servants were killed. Then your children were celebrating together
Mm-hmm.
in one of their homes, and it literally collapsed on all of them. So he had like 10, 13 children.
And God, I don't know, thinking probably you said one of their houses. Some of them have been married, had kids too.
Mm.
So that means the grandkids already died
Mhm.
too. That's
Son-in-laws, daughter-in-laws,
yeah.
grandchildren, great-grand, all that.
Whoo.
So when his body
Mm.
becomes covered in sores
Mm-hmm.
after the livestock, the servants, and the children, in one sweep, his identity pillars collapse.
Mm-hmm. Because he's no longer a
He's not
provider.
a provider.
Who's
He's
gonna
not a
provide?
father.
Right.
He was a respected man. He was a healthy man. He's not even healthy anymore. He's got boils all over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm.
And the thing is, what people kick you when you're down.
Yeah.
So then his friends arrive. And this is where it becomes psychologically relevant.
Sometimes it's just better to be alone, y'all. I'm
Yes.
just gonna throw that in.
Yeah.
Most friends can definitely make you.
Sometimes when you have certain friends, you
Mhm,
do not need enemies.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So at first, his friends come and they sit down around the firewood, and because they didn't have electricity. And if you ain't have no fire, you just be looking in the dark.
And be
So
cold.
and be very cold. So they come and sit around with him around the fire for 7 days. And that's actually the heaviest thing they do. They do better
When they were quiet.
not saying a word.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes we don't know how to help people in grief.
Because you're trying to fix it.
Right. But the healthiest thing to do sometimes is just sit there and be
Just sit
quiet.
with them.
Just sit there. Just be quiet.
I remember I was going through something years ago, and I had a girlfriend, with
Mm-hmm.
me, and she did not rush me. She said, "I'm gonna lay right here on this floor with you until you get ready to talk,
Mm-hmm.
however long it takes."
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of friend that you need.
Mm-hmm.
But we, as women, we have a habit of trying to fix
Mm-hmm.
things, and you can't fix it.
Right.
And the only thing that I can do is let you know that no matter what,
I'm here
I'm
for you.
here for you.
Right.
I'm here for you.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. You have to be present without an explanation.
Hmm.
Silence without fixing.
Hmm.
Just be there.
Just be there.
Mm-hmm.
But then they began speaking. Oh, Lord.
And that's when it got trouble.
Mm, mm, mm.
Mm-mm. They opened their mouth.
That's the problem. And what they offer is theology.
Mm.
I done lost everything I had. Okay? I lost my money, my servants, my children, my legacy. I'm
My health.
covered in boils. And you gonna give me theology? That's like going through there and they say, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Really?
Well, worse, they told him, you must have sinned.
You must have done something wrong, Joe. That's the only thing that we could think of. We've been sitting there for 7 days not saying anything. But what just keeps spinning in my mind is you had to have sinned.
How many times we do that to people in church? Mm-hmm. That's the sad part. Because sometimes we are like that. Oh, we sit here and sit here. And then we judge. You must have sinned. You did something wrong. That's why everything is happening to you.
I'm glad I learned that years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be judging people
Mm-hmm.
while they're going through what they're going through.
Mm-hmm. And they
'Cause
were telling him God would not allow this if you hadn't done
if
something.
you hadn't sinned,
Right. So confess it. Confess the sin so that all this goes away. Repent.
you didn't get all your livestock, truthfully. You stole from some people, didn't you? Come
Mm.
on, tell the truth.
Mm.
You also stole their servants to
Mm.
work for you.
Mm.
Mm.
Whatever it is, tell the truth, and this is going to go away.
Are all of your children really from your wife?
Oh, Lord.
Mhm.
Mm.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
You got a lot of children. That's a lot for one woman to have. You sure you ain't have no help? Okay, so let's slow that
Mm-hmm.
down.
Mm-hmm.
And when someone is experiencing trauma, the worst thing that you can give them is an explanation before empathy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me tell you what I think about the situation. Mm.
Oh, Lord.
Job experiences what we now call compound trauma.
Mm-hmm.
It just kept coming and
Mm-hmm.
coming and piling up on top of each other. Multiple catastrophes, catastrophic events in rapid succession. No processing time. No, we'll end this for today and come back tomorrow. Mm-hmm.
Not even in an hour.
No, 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 no.
The
But
Bible says that before the first one finished talking, this like you said, there was a
They
line.
waiting in line.
Yeah.
I got a few things to tell you. All y'all got bad news? No safety
No,
restoration.
no, I
None.
don't. So hear me out. Trauma disrupts your sense of control, your
Mhm.
sense of safety, your sense of predictability, and it fractures the meaning of everything around
It
you.
sure does.
Hmm.
Job does not stay quiet. He curses the day that he was born. Basically, he says, I never should have been born.
Hmm.
I never should have been born.
Hmm.
He says that he wished he had never existed. Have any of us gone through and said,
If I wasn't here ever, I would not be going through this.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, back in the day before I became mature, I'd probably say, if I wasn't born, I wouldn't even have to deal with this. But
Here we
I'm
are.
here now, so what are we going to do, people?
Right. No.
So he says he wishes he never exists.
And trust me, that's despair language. That's existential grief. He's not mildly sad. He's totally disoriented. Everything collapsed around him.
Hmm.
And even though he spoke at some point, I imagine that after everybody finishing the line, he had to be quiet for at least an hour
Mm,
because you're still in shock.
yes.
Wait a minute. What? What?
But then what about all this going on in your head? God, I worship you every day from sunup to sundown.
Hmm.
I pray for my children just in case they forget to pray for themselves.
Hmm.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Hmm.
A three-letter word. Why?
Hmm. And see, grief is not linear. It's not like, oh, I'm going to grieve here. It's not tidy. It's cycles
Mm.
and shock, anger. You protest, you withdraw, you start longing for everything you had and rinse and repeat.
And then you make deals with God.
Yeah.
Okay, if you get me out of this,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do A through Z.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Job embodies protest.
I don't blame
I mean, hello. He demands
him. Mm-hmm.
answers. He challenges heaven. He refuses to fake confessions to make others comfortable. How you doing, Joe? Um,
Blessed and highly favored.
blessed and highly favored. I am wonderfully and fearfully made. Job, have you looked at yourself in the mirror?
Mhm.
You see all them balls all over you,
I don't
man?
know if they were mirrors. He just needed to look down.
Uh, No. Job said, look at me. How do you think I'm doing?
Right.
You see all them dead animals out there?
Mm-hmm.
How am I clean that up?
Mm-hmm.
Servants.
Mm-hmm.
My children.
Mm-hmm.
God, my children. My children.
And the thing is, he protested, but he also said, I'm not, because the friends were telling him, you have sinned, so just confess and get it over with. What am I going to confess? So he said, we're not doing this.
And when have I had time to sin? Because I pray from sun up to sundown. Okay.
When did I have to?
When do I have time?
So let's name something directly. What Job's friends do is spiritually bypassing. They use what I call Christianese
Mm.
to avoid sitting in discomfort. Mm-hmm.
They avoid them being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. No,
How they sitting with him?
oh, they didn't care about their Job's
They were selfish.
They were
They were
thinking about
definitely
their
selfish.
comfort. Yeah.
Okay, look, we've been sitting here for 7 days and we ain't saying nothing. So now that we saying something, what you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
How you gonna fix this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cause I know my wife think I done ran away. I've been gone for 7 days. We need to talk about this
Mm-hmm.
so we get this over with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, And it sounds like God has planned.
Yeah, you tell them people when like when somebody dies or they have a miscarriage, don't worry, God has a plan.
Mhm.
Really?
Oh, he needed another angel in heaven.
We
Lies,
we
lies.
had that conversation in one
Mm,
of our early episodes.
mhm. God has a plan.
Mhm.
This will make you stronger.
Mm.
Really? Mm. You just need more faith. Uh,
See, then we actually would sin if we punched our friend in the face.
yeah, we'd be wrong, right? If we punched him in the face.
Right.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, I don't have no paper towels. I lost everything.
Ah, that's a good one. And while those statements might contain some fragments of truth, timing matters.
Yeah.
Presence first, meaning later.
Mhm.
Yeah, as if you're in a funeral or somebody's going through a tragedy, God had a plan. And they looked at you cross-eyed, you talk too fast.
Don't come to my house here.
Yeah.
All right? Don't come back to the repast.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you.
Whew.
In 2026, many people experience Job
Mhm.
levels of loss.
Mhm.
Not livestock, but their job loss, divorce loss,
Mhm.
chronic illness loss, infertility loss, death of loved ones loss.
And guess what? You may even be losing livestock. How many farmers have not lost because of finances their whole livestock?
Yeah, like we're seventh generation farmers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
This
all
the
gone.
last generation that we're gonna
Yeah,
have because we can't afford
to keep the farm
to
running.
keep it running.
Mm-hmm. And then they're told, just stay positive, declare victory, don't speak negatively. That's what they said.
But the Bible includes lament.
Mm-hmm.
It includes protest. It includes robbery.
Absolutely. Eventually, God responds, but not with an explanation of why. He doesn't give Job a neat answer. He gives him perspective. He gives him presence and engagement.
And here's what's profound. God says Job spoke rightly about him, not the friends, but Job, the one who questioned.
Mhm. Emotional honesty is not rebellion. And sometimes we think God can't handle it.
He can handle it.
He can't handle it. We can be emotionally honest. You know, Lord, yeah, there might be a purpose behind this, but I don't understand it and I don't like it. It's okay to say that.
Yeah.
And it's not disrespectful.
Mm.
And emotional honesty is relational and engagement because, again, if you have a relationship with someone, you can be honest.
Hmm.
Silence can be avoidance because even though God knows what happened, we're the ones not talking.
Hmm.
So if we need to engage in that conversation, protest can be a way of attachment.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And when a child protests a parent's absence, that protest is connection,
Yeah, that's why I get a koala every time he comes home.
not rejection.
See, Job also resists shame. He refuses to internalize blame for a tragedy he did not cause.
Hmm.
He's like, why am I apologizing? I didn't do
I
this.
didn't do nothing to cause this.
Right. And that is something psychologically healthy.
Mhm. Because trauma survivors often absorb false responsibility. If I had done something differently, if I were better, if I prayed more,
Yeah.
if my faith was not so weak,
This wouldn't have happened.
this never would have happened.
And that's not the way it works.
Mm,
Like if sometimes and you know, you can say, "Oh, I just think about, you know, sometimes you somebody tells you, "Ah, I don't feel like going to work." and you're like, no, you have to go to work, you're responsible, or school. Oh, I don't feel like going to school. And you say, no, you have to be responsible, you have to go to school. Then some tragedy happened in school, and you're feeling the guilt. I should not have insisted on been going to school.
And
Y- You had no idea of that.
have no control.
You had no control over that. One of the things I remember from Joyce Myers, she always said, you make the best decisions that you can with the information that you have.
Mhm.
You are not responsible for the information that you don't have.
Right.
In this scenario, you didn't know somebody was going to come and go crazy in the school.
Mm-mm.
You didn't know there was going to be an accident in whatever avenue or highway, whatever.
I
You didn't know.
Yeah,
So those things are totally out of your control.
they sure are.
So Job says no. He maintains integrity,
Mhm.
even in confusion.
I don't care what y'all say. I've been faithful.
Hmm.
All these children are legitimate.
Hmm.
I did not steal my servants from somebody else. These are my servants.
They were.
I pay them well. I paid them well.
Right.
And I didn't steal any of my livestock from anybody.
Not a little chicken.
Okay. And then I pray several times a day and pray for my children
Hmm.
just in case. If you've experienced loss, have you been pressured to explain it spiritually?
I would have to say yes. Hmm.
Well, my mom died 10 years ago.
Hmm.
It was unexpected.
Hmm.
She had just left, spending 8 days with me
Hmm.
2 weeks before she died.
Hmm.
I found out that my mom knew that she wasn't going to last long, but
Mm.
she didn't share it with me and my brother.
Mhm.
She shared it with her pastor
Mm.
and with the pastor's administrator. They grew up as girls together, and she shared it with them, and she gave her tithes and offering.
Mm.
That was her last tithes and offering. And I found out that she knew she wasn't going to make it after she died. The administrator called me,
Mhm.
who unfortunately died in the last few months
Mm.
herself.
Mm.
So she lived almost 10 years after mom.
Mhm.
But I have a question. Has
Yes.
anyone ever felt guilty for grieving too long?
You know, here's I'm sure some people have, but sometimes it's not people make you feel guilty for grieving too long.
You ain't over that yet,
Right.
you know?
Right.
Um, have you silenced your questions to stay acceptable?
And again, that's outside, that's external pressure. You know, well, you need to move on, with your life and go on. Um, I'll tell you this. Um, in my case, it was not about the loss of someone. It was about the loss of my marriage. Um, because people ask you, have divorce is sin, and you're supposed to stay there.
Have you tried everything?
Have you tried everything? And you feel guilty, and you feel all kinds of pressure.
And you start questioning yourself.
Right. But at some point, I decided in my particular situation, God had a plan for my life, and He wanted me to be alive for me to do what He asked me to do.
Mhm. Mhm.
If I would have stayed there, I would not be here.
Mm-mm.
So I think God can forgive me for a divorce, but He wanted me to be alive.
Mhm.
And I think forgiven is better than dead. I'm just saying.
I don't see God telling anyone to stay in a relationship that's gonna harm them or end up taking their life,
I agree with that. I agree with that.
okay? I don't the God that I serve,
Mhm.
I can only speak for me.
Right.
The God that I serve would not tell me to stay in an abusive marriage,
Mhm.
um, especially Domestic violence,
Mhm,
physical abuse,
mhm,
emotional abuse, all
mhm,
the abuses,
mhm.
stay there.
Mm-mm.
Stay there.
No.
Okay, when you
I mean, I think it's different.
can't go to sleep at night because you're afraid the person that's in the bed next to you may do something great.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Mhm. Yeah, that was me. Um, my thing is marriages have problems.
mhm,
And if both of you are working towards fixing the problems and you know, then don't take the exit door. Work it. Um I remember very specifically, I went on my knees so many times and declared, me and my house will serve the Lord. Me and my house will serve the Lord. But one day I said, I've been declaring this for a long time. Me and my house will serve the Lord. Why is this not happening? And I heard him just as clear as I'm hearing you, because he has to choose me the same way you choose me.
mhm,
I'm like, I can't save anybody. So, there's nothing I can do. And when things got critical, I'm like, deuces. Because again, God needed me alive to
mhm,
do what I'm doing now. This
mhm,
was what? This is 2026. This was 16 years ago.
mm.
I have lived 16 years after that.
22?
Yeah, it was in 2020.
Mm,
So I have lived 16 years after that.
mhm,
So, and I've been able to do a couple of things
mhm,
for the Lord, for the kingdom. So, yeah, I think I don't know if he was okay with it, but I think he's forgiven me for that.
mm, mm.
I, I don't know.
I believe it.
I believe it.
Mhm,
So let's teach something clinically important. Grief requires expression to get it out, witness, but also time, integration of yourself. What it doesn't require is performance, suppression, spiritual perfection. What that is, even that. What is that? I cannot be perfect because I'm not, period.
right,
Hmm.
right. Unexpressed grief turns into anxiety, irritability, somatic symptoms, depression.
And for those who don't know what somatic symptoms is when your body starts showing symptoms of pain or problems, and it's not caused because you're sick, it's caused because of your emotions.
Mhm, mm,
The Bible contains an entire book that is called Lamentations. That tells us something.
mhm. Job's story ends
Mhm.
with restoration,
Mhm.
but restoration does not erase the trauma.
Right.
New children do not replace lost children.
Yes.
We have some friends back in 2000. Unfortunately, they had a serious car accident and both children were killed on impact.
Mhm.
The children were in their car seats and in their seatbelt.
Mm.
But because the car rolled and the roof came down,
Mhm.
both children were instantly killed. Parents in the front seat, they had cuts and bruises and breaks or whatever, but
They survived.
the children were killed instantly. Um, that was in 2000. This is 2026.
Mhm.
Their youngest daughter, they went back and had 3 more children, 3 daughters, back to back,
Mhm.
back to back. If those children had still been alive, they would have been in their 30s.
Mhm.
But now they have 3 daughters. These 3 daughters do not replace the first 2 children
Absolutely not.
whose lives were lost.
Mhm.
If you've had miscarriages
Mhm.
and then the Lord blesses you with a child or children, those children do not take the place of the ones you lost.
Mhm.
I have a very, very close friend. She lost 3 baby girls,
Mhm.
okay? None of them lived long
Mhm.
after coming into this world.
Mhm.
But now she has a beautiful 14-year-old daughter,
Mhm.
but this daughter does not take the place of the other 3 babies that did not get to live here on this earth.
And that's important to recognize because sometimes people, when you have a miscarriage, he'll give you one later. Like that one didn't count.
So is he gonna bring that one back to
Right,
me?
right. So we need to be careful the way we talk about
We really do. We mean well, but we can say some very unintelligent things.
it. I like that.
Imma be nice.
Yes. Healing doesn't mean you forget.
Mm-mm.
Is you carry the loss in a different way.
Mhm.
See, Elijah needed rest. Job needed witness. Different wounds, different medicine.
Exactly. But the same conclusion. God did not abandon them,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what it looked like,
Mm-hmm.
even when their emotions were intense.
Mm-hmm. If Elijah represents burnout, Job represents grief. Both are very common in 2026
Today,
because both are deeply human.
yes. And neither disqualifies you from faith.
Mhm. Elijah collapsed after adrenaline. Job collapsed after a loss. But what about someone who doesn't collapse all at once? What about someone who slowly wears down over the years?
Mhm. That's where Jeremiah enters the conversation. Chronic stress, chronic rejection, chronic emotional labor.
Hmm. And this one may feel familiar to caregivers, leaders, parents, ministers, advocates. We've walked through despair, we've sat in abandonment, we've watched collapse. Well, here's the real question: what does healing actually look like?
That's a good question
Hmm.
because healing isn't hype. It's not pray it away.
Hmm.
It's not pretending everything is all right and that trauma didn't happen. It's integration.
Right. And integration means this, that the wounded part of you is no longer running your life.
Mm. Integration is when the prefrontal cortex, that's your reasoning, can stay online during stress. The nervous system can experience distress without dysregulating. You can feel emotion without being emotional. You
Yes.
can feel emotions.
Mm-hmm.
You can be rejected without collapsing.
Mm-hmm.
You can fail without losing identity. That's secure attachment.
See, the Bible calls this sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. People love casting out
Perfect.
fear. Perfect love casts out fear.
Mhm.
1 John 4:18. A renewed mind. Romans 12:2. Peace that surpasses all understanding. Philippians 4:7. It's not emotional numbness, it's regulated trust.
Yes. This is the theological climax.
Mm.
Many believers relate to God through their attachment wounds, anxious attachment. God must constantly reassure me.
We can be needy kids.
Avoidant attachment. I perform but never get close. Disorganized attachment. I fear and love him simultaneously. But scripture paints a secure attachment model.
So, what does that look like? Secured attachment requires consistency, responsiveness, emotional availability, protection, delight.
Hmm. And God demonstrates all five. I will never leave nor forsake you. Before you call, I will answer. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted. He gathers the lambs in his arms. The Lord delights in those who fear him. That is secure attachment language.
See, Elijah was not just rescued. Let's go back to Elijah for a minute. God did not shame him, He didn't rebuke him, He did not demand faith from him. He regulated him.
Mhm,
He gave him food,
mhm,
rest, a gentle whisper. That is co regulation.
mhm. When someone is in trauma response, the brain stem is dominant. You do not fix that with sermons. I'm going to preach you into correction. You fix it with safety. God modeled trauma informed care. That's how
Mhm.
you fix it.
Right. Secure attachment allows you to tolerate the mystery. Job never got a full explanation, but he got God's presence.
Mhm.
The psychological milestone here is distress tolerance.
You can say, I don't understand. I'm not hurting. I trust. All at the same time. That's mature.
Hmm.
Very mature.
Jeremiah said, I'm too young. God responded, do not say. He interrupted self narrative. Healing requires narrative restructuring.
Hmm.
Trauma says, I'm inadequate. God says, before you were formed, I knew you. Identity before performance, calling before competence.
Hmm. When we are unhealed, we operate from younger version of ourselves. We react instead of respond. We confuse intensity with intimacy, and we chase what wounds us.
Integration means the adult self leads, the spirit regulates, the wounded child is cared for but not in control.
Mhm. Fight leads to anger and control.
Mhm.
Flight leads to avoidance and overwork. Freeze leads to numbness and disconnection. And fawn leads to people pleasing.
The scripture addresses all four. Fight, be slow to anger. Flight, abide in me. Freeze, awake, O sleeper. Fawn, I am now seeking the approval of man.
Emma,
Am I?
mm,
Healing is nervous system discipleship.
secure people feel emotion without drowning, receive correction without collapse,
Mm-hmm.
can be alone without abandonment panic,
Mm-hmm.
love without control, fail without identity death.
Mm-hmm. Spiritually secure people pray honestly. They obey without fear. They trust without a full explanation. And they rest without guilt.
Mhm. When triggered, do you fight? Do you flee? Do you freeze or do you fawn? Do you relate to God from fear or trust? Does correction feel like rejection? Is rest hard for you? Invite stillness.
Mhm.
Mhm.
This is where psychology and scripture merge beautifully. And we can talk about this in length at a different time, but in short, This is when we have to reparent ourselves. And that involves awareness, regulation, narrative correction, practice, and repetition.
Sanctification mirrors this. Conviction, awareness, it mirrors awareness. Comfort mirrors regulation.
Hmm.
Truth mirrors narrative correction. And obedience, practice. Renewal, repetition. And healing is discipleship of the nervous system.
It is integration. And going back to where we started, David still felt. Elijah was still tired. Jeremiah was still sensitive.
Mhm. Job still questioned, but he did not stay fragmented. He integrated.
Hmm. So maybe the real miracle isn't that God rescues us from the storm. Maybe it's that He makes us stable in the storms.
Mhm. Maybe faith isn't denial of pain. Maybe it's secure attachment in the middle of pain.
Hmm. And believe me, you are not too emotional. You are very likely dysregulated. Hmm.
Mhm. You are not too much. You are likely unregulated.
And God does not demand performance before presence. He offers presence first. So that's where you need to be with Him.
Mhm. If this series has shown you anything, I hope it's this. You are not crazy, maybe a little. You're not weak. You're not faithless. You are healing.
And healing is not instant.
Nope.
It is layered,
Mhm.
it is slow, but it is holy.
If this episode resonated with you, follow us at The Rising Muse on all platforms. Help us to reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube so these conversations can reach more people.
If you're experiencing a mental health crisis, dial 988.
If a loved one is experiencing a mental health crisis, dial 911 or take them to the nearest emergency room.
If you believe you may be in a domestic violence relationship, call 800-799-7233 or text 887-888. Please make sure you're in a safe place when you're making this outreach.
Until next time,
Don't forget to thrive. Have a blessed day.
Bye bye.